My name is Andrew Johnston. My role within ABF particularly is around people, leadership and culture. And the transition of ABF to one entity all sit within my remit. Something that's been really acutely clear to me over the last kind of 9 months has been how the leadership within our business has stepped into that space of providing direction, but also care and safety for our people. We have parts of the business that during the pandemic will have seen their kind of workflow rise, and there'll be some that found that the pressure has been downward. So there's been different needs for leaders to adapt, but they have done so in support of our people. However, what it does do when you start looking at individual scenarios and individual personal challenges, as well as those in the countries, is the whole concept of one ABF starts to disseminate, because people aren't thinking about one entity. What they're thinking about is their own situation rightly, and then about that they can see right in front of them. That will be their team or their country, so far as working within ABF. When I talk about the conscience of one ABF, it's really about what do you do once you have thought about protecting those close around you and the business you immediately work within. What does that do to feed into the strength of the bigger one ABF piece? And what we ask people to do is to consider when they are changing something within their business to adapt to the external environment. They are coming up with something new within their business to take opportunity, or they are delivering something within their business from a leadership perspective to help support, engage and develop their people, that they think of that then as, how do I share that? How do I ensure that there is an opportunity for all within one ABF to experience that change, that opportunity or that development? I think the piece around using the expertise of the people within our business to make the key decisions on the ground is really important. Pretty much every business that I've worked within financial services has had the aspiration of allowing people to make big risk decisions based upon what they know, which is generally more than is known outside of that relationship. As financial services business, we've always struggled with that, wanting to give people autonomy and the ownership over those decisions. But where does then the accountability sit if then that decision changes shape or shifts behind them, as we've seen with the coronavirus challenges? So there has to be an environment of safety, that if you're going to make a decision, that you are making that decision with everything that you have, all the tools that you have in front of you at your disposal. You are pausing to reflect on that decision, but you don't sit in fear of if it doesn't go your way. A really great example for me were the risk task forces that took place within the countries during the height of the pandemic. So when we got into April, May and June, when we started to get into the depths of lockdown and businesses were really starting to struggle, it became very clear that the best people to make the decisions were those that were on the ground, that understood the economies in those countries, but also understood the clients well enough to make those decisions. From a one ABF perspective, our role was to create an environment and infrastructure that said, this is what a risk task force can look like. These are the decision-making processes that you have at your disposal. Now go and adapt those to your countries. So let us give you a framework that allows you to have that autonomy, but go and make it work with the people that are in your business, the expertise, the client numbers that you have, and the size of challenges that you have, but use the framework to your benefit. And one of the things that we always used to say in coaching was structure liberates. If you've got some structure, it really liberates you to say, right, I'm going to use that structure and make a decision. And that's what one ABF allowed individuals to do within these risk task forces.